Well, hello, everybody. I am not Trevor,
And I am not Bill.
but this is Bill and Trevor's Excellent Adventure. And right now, we're on our adventure traveling through Samaria.
Yes, we are. We are rejoining the disciples at this point.
Yes. And what we have seen so far is John the Baptizer being a reliable witness, having accrued great influence, neither for money nor apparently for power, because he's doing everything he can to turn his ministry over to Jesus.
He sure is.
We see that Jesus is doing miraculous signs, and some people are greatly impressed. And they say, well, this is obviously more than a human being. Some people think he's Messiah that they were looking for. Some people think he's a prophet, but they know he's not usual, not normal. And then you have some other people who have access and witness to the same signs, saw the same signs everybody else did, but they're stifling the Jesus movement.
Yes, they are.
And it gets to a point where now Jesus is about to get persecuted and he's not ready to die on the cross yet. He's got some things to get done. And so he leaves the area, at least temporarily, and he's traveling through Samaria where he has this conversation with a Samaritan woman. And he busts her, tells her all about her stuff.
Yeah.
There's no point in trying to hide her past from this guy because he has just told her everything. And now we're going to pick up verse 28. You read last time. I'm going to read.
Sounds good.
So the woman left her water jar and went away into town and said to the people, "Come, see a man who told me all that I ever did. Can this be the Christ?" They went out of the town and were coming to him. Meanwhile, the disciples were urging him, saying, "Rabbi, eat." But he said to them, "I have food to eat that you do not know about." So the disciples said to one another, "Has anyone brought him something to eat?" Jesus said to them, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to accomplish his work. Do you not say there are yet 4 months and then comes the harvest? Look, I tell you, look up your eyes and see that the fields are white for harvest. Already the one who reaps is receiving wages and gathering fruit for eternal life, so that the sower and reaper may rejoice together. For here the saying holds true, one sows and another reaps. I sent you to reap that for which you did not labor. Others have labored, and you have entered into their labor." Let's talk about this for a moment. Explain to me what you see in this conversation.
What I see in this conversation, number one, actually, I want to ask you a quick question. So verse 28, we're focusing on down. Why not verse 27?
Well, you can start in verse 27.
Oh, okay. Well, I wanted to start from verse 27 because we talked about, Jesus. It's weird that he would come by, sit and talk to a Samaritan woman, especially, but not only just any Samaritan woman. We find out is a Samaritan woman that has 5 men that aren't really her husband, and then to come back and say, what are they?
Maybe you should read 27 since I did not.
Okay, I'll read it. Yes. Just then his disciples returned and were surprised to find him talking with a woman. But no one asked, "What do you want?" or "Why are you talking with her?"
So since you brought it up.
There we go. Did you have something to say?
No, I'm going to let you say it. You're the one that brought it up.
I was going to say his disciples didn't say a word. And I think it's the level of trust. And I think this is kind of a glimpse of his disciples starting to understand that he's just not like us.
Yeah.
He's just weird, like he's just the Messiah, but he doesn't have any of these preconceived notions of almost prejudice toward Samaritans. He's just talking as like, this is one of my children.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
She needs to know the truth. And it's cool to see that the disciples, I mean, maybe they were too stunned to talk. I would like to believe that maybe they thought and just understood a little bit of what Jesus was thinking at that moment. It's just a tiny, tiny fraction of it, and didn't say a word or interrupt it. I think that was incredible. And then her just leaving and running throughout the town and leaving her water jar there. The whole reason why she went there to get water, just leaving it, went straight down and said, "Come see a man who told me everything I ever did."
What do you imagine her emotional state is?
I mean, she has to be just what's the word for it? Um,
Excited?
excited. Well, excited is not even just the word. It has to be like a hysterical excitement.
Yeah.
Like she has to be, over the moon. She just met the Messiah.
Yeah.
And I think there's no doubt in her mind that it's the Messiah too, which is the cool part.
Yeah.
It was immediate. She dropped
Mhm.
everything she was doing, came down and said, "You guys have to see this man." And in the beginning, it was the disciples saying, "Hey, Rabbi, you really should eat something."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I have food that you have no knowledge of."
So isn't it remarkable that this woman didn't even get to see a sign?
Yeah.
And she's running back talking about the Messiah,
Mm-hmm.
hysterically excited.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of raises the question, why her? Why not the Pharisees?
That's a fantastic question. I actually have no idea because the Pharisees. I mean, I think of a couple of times where Jesus he just looks at them and says, "I know what you're thinking," and not even just knows it, says it out loud to them,
Yeah.
and they can't even. They just think immediately, black magic, or that is. We don't want anything to do with that. That wasn't from God. It's like, well, who else could it be from? It's. I don't know why this woman specifically understood it.
Well, going back to what's already been said in the gospel,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus declared the verdict.
Sure, he sure did.
Light has come into the world, but men hated darkness instead of the light because their deeds were evil.
Hmm.
Now, we have this woman with an obviously checkered past. What nobody else saw was that she would have liked to have turned away from it.
Yeah.
It isn't about what we've done, it's about what we want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Pharisees did not want to start over.
Not at all.
This woman apparently was looking for a change.
Mm-hmm.
Messiah is on her mind.
Mm.
She's the one that brought up this Messiah thing to Jesus. She's the one that runs back into town saying, could this be him?
Mm-hmm.
The Pharisees wanted the status quo in their lives. This woman is looking for a change.
Yeah.
The Pharisees have their noses rubbed into the signs and refuse to see them.
Yeah.
This woman didn't even get to see one.
Mm-mm.
Runs back into town. And I also tend to agree with you, by the way, about his relationship with the disciples.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That by this point, they had learned to trust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. You did count on that. Yeah.
So let's kind of roll with it and see what's going to happen. Following Jesus is an exciting adventure.
He sure is. Has to be.
And I will tell you that I have a friend, and you know him, but I'm not going to call out his name on this podcast. He was telling me, you've had a very interesting life, because I was telling him about, my life story, and I thought about it. I said, you know what? I have been places and done things I never imagined I was going to do as a direct consequence of my decision to make Jesus Lord. Making him Lord of your life means you do things you don't want to do when he tells you to.
Yeah.
And the consequences of that choice in my life have been remarkable. So let's talk about this business about eating. What do you think?
Hmm. I think that I think that Jesus is again different wavelength, like you said, earlier. He's on a different wavelength. He doesn't. I think he's so focused, so driven on just doing the will of his Father that he's willing to throw aside his physical needs. That it's just a second thought to him. He doesn't care about that. He's saying, "Look, there is a harvest here, right here and now. Look up."
So do you know anybody personally, or maybe have you ever been the kind of guy who got so into what you're doing that you forgot to eat?
Always, that's me. My wife wants me to eat, and I at work especially, I can just completely ignore the hunger and not even feel it. So yes,
Well, what are you into that makes you not eat?
I'm a software developer, so when I get on a roll and I just don't stop. That's just I gotta go until it's done.
Yeah, and I know a lot of software weenies are like that. I don't know, but I've been told that Thomas Edison was like that. You know, Jesus was like that about what God sent him to do.
Yeah, his wasn't on and off.
Yeah. And so he says, I have something to eat that you do not know about. And like you say, it's too bad the tone is not communicated. I wonder how he said that.
Yeah. I I mean, there has to be an excitement in his eyes to see all the people. Has to be.
You know, then another thing is maybe what was in his tone was just sadness. I wish you guys knew what I knew.
Hmm.
I wish you guys could be powered like I am powered.
Yeah.
You don't know what I've got. Oh, I wish you had it.
That'd be a fair point too.
And maybe it's a mixture of all of that. Sadly, the tongue doesn't communicate. But the disciples say to one another, did anybody bring them food?
Yeah. They're probably thinking to themselves like, "What is this guy talking about? Where do you get the food?"
And, somebody else pointed, one of the reasons that you can know that the gospel writers are reliable witnesses is because they're so honest about themselves.
Mm.
These are not legendary myths where they make themselves look like, really powerful guys. Here's John admitting, okay, yeah, we were all idiots.
Yeah.
Totally did not get it.
Yep. Yep.
And Jesus says, well, don't you guys, say, well, we're going to get around to it when it's harvest time. Now is the harvest time, fellas. Look at this. The fields are white in the harvest. And he looks up, and I imagine at that time that at this point, you see the woman coming back with a crowd of villagers coming in behind her to
Mm.
see what this is that she's been so hyped up about.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'm one of the villagers, maybe I look at that woman and be like, "That's really weird that you're saying that," but I'll take a look.
Yeah.
It grabs attention with someone like that. It has been.
So now we get back
That's
to the thing about importance, right?
there you go. Yeah.
The thing that made her important was the fact that she was so as she was in the
Mhm.
first place, and yet she comes back excited about the Messiah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how do you account for that level of excitement? She's a reliable witness not because of her high character.
No.
She's actually a reliable witness because the changes that she's in the process of making are a statement.
Yeah. It's bad. And she's stating it for the whole world.
Yeah. I will tell you that when I was first studying the Bible a long, long time ago, I was told, well, I'll tell you two things were said to me about me. The day that I was baptized, there was this one guy, I didn't even know that he knew who I was,
Hmm.
came up crying. I mean, literal tears going down his face. And he said, I thought you would never come around.
Oh, wow.
I later learned that that was a sincere concern among the college Christians that were involved in our campus ministry. They did not know what to make of me
Oh, wow.
because I was not what they were expecting as a religious person who was interested about God. I was more like the Samaritan woman.
I see.
You know, to say that I had a sketch past was an understatement.
Mm.
But like this woman, I was looking for something and nobody else could see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
So the Samaritans came to him, and you can pick up in verse 40.
Okay. Let's do it. Verse 39.
Where are we? Yeah, let's pick up again in 39 and then go down to 32, and we'll talk for just a bit.
Will do. Many of the Samaritans from that town believed in him because of the woman's testimony. He told me everything I ever did. So when the Samaritans came to him, they urged him to stay with them, and he stayed 2 days. And because of his words, many more became believers. They said to the woman, "We no longer believe just because of what you said. Now we have heard for ourselves, and we know that this man really is the Savior of the world."
And I think that's just a remarkable statement.
Just heard. Just heard.
Yeah.
Wow.
So This is kind of like that first day that Jesus met the disciples of John the Baptist.
Yeah.
And we don't know what all got said.
Mm-hmm.
We know what went into the conversation, and we know what came out of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what comes into this conversation is the testimony of a woman whom everybody knew. And the fact that this woman of all people
Yeah.
said what she said, at a minimum, made them curious, and at a maximum, they had some people already believing before they saw him.
I mean, I definitely, if you saw a woman like that every day in your town, and you see a big change like that.
But then they talked with him.
Mm-hmm.
So does this tell you anything about Jesus?
Well, it tells me that he doesn't just talk the walk, he walks the walk. Because after saying to his disciples, talking about the harvest that is ready in front of them, he didn't plan to stay, but he stayed.
Yeah. In fact, I don't know if you read verse 43 or not. I think I asked you to stop in verse 42.
I did not. But after the 2 days he left for Galilee.
Yeah, so he stays there for 2 days
Mm-hmm.
in a place where arguably he's not supposed to be.
Not supposed to.
But he is all about bringing people to God.
Mm-hmm.
And so he talks. Apparently no signs. Just talks. We've heard and we know
Yeah.
that this is really the Savior of the world.
Gosh. It just shows how the Samaritans were searching.
Not necessarily in a way that anybody religious was going to recognize.
No, not at all.
Okay, let's keep reading. How much time we got?
We're at 17.
Okay, well, I think that we'll just read this and we'll pick up the rest of the story in the next session.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get familiar. Read verses 46 until the end of the chapter.
Okay. All right, we're going to go here. Once more he visited Cana in Galilee, where he had turned the water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. Unless you people see signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe. The royal official said, Sir, come down before my child dies. Go, Jesus replied, your son will live. The man took Jesus at his word and departed. While he was still on the way, his servants met him with the news that his boy was living. When he inquired as to the time when his son got better, they said to him, yesterday, at 1 in the afternoon, the fever left him. Then the father realized that this was the exact time at which Jesus had said to him, your son will live. So he and his whole household believed. This was the second sign Jesus performed after coming from Judea to Galilee.
So it says he goes again to Cana in Galilee where he had made the water into wine.
Mm-hmm.
So context for the locals.
Yeah.
They have heard the story by now.
Oh, yeah.
And maybe by now some of the words been filtered up from Judea about what Jesus had been doing down there.
Yeah, it has to be.
I have often struggled, okay, later in this story, it says it was the second sign Jesus did.
Mm-hmm.
And I pondered in my mind, does this mean the second sign ever? And I kind of think maybe not, but I don't know. But for sure, the people in Galilee on the northern end of the territory, they know that he's done at least one.
Yes.
And so this royal official comes and he asks Jesus to heal his son because he's at the point of death. And Jesus says something remarkable in verse 48. Read that again.
Unless you people see signs and wonders, Jesus told him, you will never believe.
Now, here's a case where I actually prefer your translation over the one I've been reading.
Oh, there we go.
Because yours says, unless you people. I have a little footnote. Mine says, unless you see signs and wonders. And you have to look at the footnote to recognize that the Greek is plural.
Okay.
So Jesus, when he says this, he's not saying to the official, if you, Mr. Official, you're not going to have any faith unless you see some signs. No, he's talking about you people.
Yep.
But what about this official? What has he got?
Well, I mean, in terms of what this official has, I think he has faith. I think he knows that Jesus is the one that can do this. That's why he came up to him.
Yeah, because if he doesn't expect something, why are you doing this?
Yeah, and but I mean, not even that. It seems like it's a multiple days trip. Talking about how on his way back, his servants met him, and I'm assuming maybe they met him halfway.
Yeah.
And you know, they said yesterday he got healed.
Yeah.
So must have had faith to be able to go out there
So
himself.
he's going significantly out of his way to do something that would make no sense
Mm.
unless you're expecting something to happen that simply does not happen every day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's got to be faith.
So if that's what's going on inside the official, why would Jesus say what he said?
Well, that's a good question. It almost begs to, I almost begged, or begged, I almost wonder who's around him at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's just his disciples, I'm guessing. Is he speaking to his disciples? That's the real question. Or is he speaking to somebody else?
He's making a public statement. You people implies that there's somebody else there.
Yeah.
But what is the man's response?
Sir, come down before my child dies.
Please, I'm not here to debate religion.
Yeah.
I need you to heal my son.
Yeah.
Which I think is evidence of what he believed.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Yeah. I mean, he would not say that to him if he didn't think he could do it anyway. So he says, hey, time is of the essence, and I know you can do it. Please.
So Jesus says, okay. That's verse 50. It says, go, your son will believe. But in Bowie's free translation, it's okay.
Okay.
And then he says, well, it was yesterday at the 7th hour. Once again, I'm going to quibble over the time. In this instance, time is not super critical to the story. Yes.
I'm sorry. Your translation says in the 7th hour.
Yes.
My translation says at 1 in the afternoon.
Yes, because your translation keeps insisting that they're using that common time scale of a 12 hours in a 7-hour day. Which means that if it was the 7th hour and the first hour started at 6 a.m., at 6 plus 7, that's 1300 in military time or 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Except I think that is an assumption that doesn't make sense when you read the Gospel of John.
Yeah. So then it would be more likely that it's actually 7 p.m.
Which also kind of suggests that he heard Jesus, he sent the people down, and it took them that long to get to Jesus.
Yeah.
And then when they spend the night in Cana and they go back home, it was yesterday evening.
But see, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Too bad I'm not a Bible scholar with more influence, you know?
Yeah, unfortunately.
So the father knew that was the hour when Jesus had said to him, your son will live. And he himself believed in all his household. But wait, we just said he already had faith because otherwise his behavior makes no sense.
Well, yes, but I remember we talked about this in earlier episodes, faith being reinforced.
Yes.
Just believing more.
Faith going deeper.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you act on faith, the more you see the results and the deeper your faith becomes. And true faith is always expressed in actions, and the consequences of actions will reinforce the faith. It becomes, instead of a death spiral to a crash, it becomes a life spiral all the way up into heaven.
Yep, that's absolutely right.
But this is now the second sign Jesus did when he had come up from Judea to Galilee. So as far as the Galileans are concerned, they've now seen 2 signs. And already we have seen lots of different reactions to Jesus that do not depend on the signs.
Not at all.
Well, I won't say at all, because this guy's faith got deeper when he realized that his son got healed at the same time Jesus said.
Yeah.
So it's related, but it's not completely dependent on.
That's fair. Yeah.
And yet we have some people, they're getting upset because Jesus is doing signs, but they don't want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Which gets down to, for the sake of our listeners, do you believe or do you not believe? But more importantly, why?
Mm.
What are you willing or unwilling to change if this is true?
Yeah.
When you start asking yourself that question, then you're getting into the heart of what John is exposing, telling these events about Jesus.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I have been Bill,
And I have been Trevor.
and this has
The-
been
Bill. And this has been
yes,
Bill and Trevor's Excellent Adventure.